Hello, all you beautiful people out there, and welcome to my channel. And today's Atheist Church. I had a migraine yesterday. I generally try to struggle through my migraines, but there are just sometimes I just cannot get through a migraine. So, just be aware that if I cancel um, Atheist Church or Saturday live stream. That's generally why, is because I have a migraine that I just can't struggle through. Okay. Now, before I get to Atheist Church, I want to address um, something. Most of you may know that the Olympics are taking place in Tokyo. Um, they were postponed because of the situation. Thank you, Nevermore. Um, they were postponed because of the situation, but they are taking place right now. It's the Summer Olympics. Now, you may or may not know, unless you're a gymnastics fan like I am, that Simone Biles, the star of the U.S. gymnastics team, and the greatest of all time, and nobody disputes that in the gymnastics world. Hey, Lisa, she is the greatest of all time. And if you see her routines, you will know exactly why. Okay. So, she withdrew from the team competition after her signature event, which is vault. In women's gymnastics, there are 4 events, just in case you didn't know. The vault, the uneven bars, the balance beam, and the floor exercise. Um, Simone's signature event is the vault. Her other signature event is the floor exercise. She's great on beam, and she's even pretty good on uneven bars. Um, okay, so um, I cannot do the stuff she does, so kudos to her. Okay, but anybody who knows anything about gymnastics is gonna say she's the greatest of all time. All right, so oh, I don't remember seeing Olga Corbett, but I do know that the Corbett flip, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to YouTube and type in something like band moves in gymnastics, Corbett flip, and you'll see what I'm talking about. um, uh, anyway, um, so now there was some, well, I won't say some, I will say a lot of fuss about um, Simone withdrawing from the team competition. Now, she said Simone said that it was a mental thing, but mental and physical are interrelated. Most of you know that I majored in psychology and I'm most of the way done with a mental health counseling degree. Um, at any rate, so the mental and the physical are very much intertwined. And so Simone got what in gymnastics, and I'm not a gymnast, so I'm relying on gymnasts for this information. Um, Simone got what gymnasts call the twisties, which basically means she got lost in the air. Um, and instead of doing an aminar, which is a 2.5 year chinko, and if you don't know what that means, just go to YouTube, type aminar. Um, Lisa, it wasn't her confidence. I'm explaining that right now. So instead of doing her aminar, which is a 2.5 year chinko, she ended up doing a 1.5 year chinko, which, if you know anything about gymnastics, is um, about 8 tenths less in difficulty than a 2.5 year chinko, which is the aminar. Okay, so so getting past all of that, um, she went off the floor with the medical staff for the U.S. team, and she came back on, and she told the team she was withdrawing from the competition, and but she said she was going to stay on the floor, and she was going to cheer them on. And okay, so anyway, getting on to the twisties, they you pretty much get lost in the air, and this is very, very, very dangerous when you're flipping and twisting, especially when you're doing what she does. She is awesome. And I mean awesome. And like I said, if you don't know what I mean, uh, go to 29, go to YouTube, type 2019 Olympic gymnastics in the search bar. It should bring up the 2019 World Championships. I agree, Nevermore, which is why I'm addressing this, because I am totally 100% behind her. Go Simone. You got to take care of yourself first. It seems to me that the people who are being assholes put Olympic hardware before someone's life. Okay? And I mean, with this condition, with her getting lost in the air, with what she does, okay, she could literally break her neck. Okay. This is no joke. This is no joke. She could literally break her neck if she got lost in the air on her triple twisting double somersault on floor. So it's no joke. And and these idiots, and yes, I'm going to call them idiots because I call it like it is. Everybody knows that. These idiots that are calling her quote unquote weak are um, doughy faced, pudgy, middle aged men. And they call her weak. I want to see these pudgy, white, middle aged men try to do what she does. They would quit halfway down the vault runway. They would. They would quit halfway down the vault runway because I don't think they could even make it halfway down the vault runway. So, um, yeah, it's probably a mental thing that she has, but again, it affects her physically. And anyone who wants to say that she is quote unquote weak, they need to get a brain. Hey, Randolph, because she is not weak. She is the most decorated gymnast of all times in male or female competition. And if you know anything about gymnastics, for a woman to be the most decorated gymnast of all time is saying something because the women only have 4 events. The men have 6. So leave her alone. Leave her alone. She's doing what she's got to do. Okay. Mental health, physical health rant over. Let's get into today's topic, which is Atheist Church. And today's topic is the afterlife. Um, Angelo, could you come in under one of your other names, please? I can't see you. Um, so anyway, so the afterlife. Let's talk about the afterlife. Well, as an atheist, I don't believe in the afterlife. I believe we die and that's it. That's it. We've got one life. Why are you wasting the one life that you know we have for a life that you have no idea exists? And I don't believe it does, but that's besides the point. Why should you waste the one life that you know you have? So, at any rate, I think he's going to come back Hey, Otangelo. Thank you very much. I can't see you under your Grasso name. Um, so anyway, so there are different views about um the afterlife in Christianity. Um, the Jehovah's Witnesses um believe if you're part of the 144,000. Yes, I can, Otangelo. Thank you very much. Um, they believe that if you're a part of the 144,000, you go to heaven. If you are part of the quote unquote great crowd, that is, if you are a faithful Jehovah's Witness, then you um, live forever on a paradise earth. Uh, and if you're not a Jehovah's Witness, you just die and that's it. There's no eternal torment in their theology. It didn't always used to be that way. When the Jehovah's Witnesses started, that is, when they were still under the name Bible students, um, they believed that only 144,000 went to heaven. And after the end gathering of the 144,000, Jesus would come back. That's what they thought. And I'm not going to go into it, but I did an entire series on Jehovah's Witnesses. They've got major problems with their theology, to say the least. But anyway, um, so that's what Jehovah's Witnesses believe. So, what do the Mormons believe? And technically, I am still a Mormon. I don't go to church anymore. Um, Even if it wasn't this situation, I wouldn't go to church anymore. Um, at any rate, so what do the Mormons believe? Well, that I'm going to do a video in and of itself about what the Mormons believe about the afterlife because it's complicated. But in a nutshell, um, Mormons believe that there are pretty much three levels to heaven. There is the celestial world where God is, and um, if you're righteous, not perfect, nobody's perfect, but if you're righteous, you go to the celestial kingdom. Um, Most people, whether or not they're Mormons, are going to live on the terrestrial kingdom, which is likened to our earth, but 100 times better. So, in other words, no sickness, no death, blah, blah, blah. Um, and this is for the non Mormons. Um, then there's the telestial kingdom, which is not as good as the terrestrial kingdom, but it's still better than what we have today. So, say the terrestrial kingdom is going to be 100 times better than we have today, then the telestial kingdom is going to be like 10 times better than what we have today. And then there's what they call outer darkness. Very, very few people are going to be cast into outer darkness. These are the truly, truly wicked people. I'm talking about killers, basically. They're going to go to outer darkness. But there is no torment in outer darkness. It's just outer darkness. Uh, so that's what the Mormons believe. So we've got Jehovah's Witnesses, we've got Mormons. The Catholics believe there is heaven and hell, but there's this stopgap in between. And I don't know much about Catholic theology. Nevermore, and maybe you can help me on this one. And from what I can gather, most people in their theology are going to stop over at purgatory. However, their stop in purgatory is going to be temporary, and eventually they're going to go to heaven. That's my understanding. Nevermore, please correct me if I'm wrong on that. Okay. Uh, so what do the evangelicals believe? Well, the evangelicals believe there's a heaven and a hell. Nothing else. Nothing else. Just heaven and hell. And if you accept Jesus, then you're going to heaven. And if you don't, you're going to hell. This is a major, major, major flaw in Christian theology. Major flaw in Christian theology. Why do I say that? Because according to evangelicals, a murderer who accepts Christ as personal Lord and Savior, whatever the fuck that means, will go to heaven. It doesn't matter that they took someone's life or a bunch of someone's lives. It doesn't matter. But me being an atheist, I do not ever hurt anybody intentionally. Never in my life have I ever hurt anybody intentionally. And I am a very moral person. And yet, according to the evangelicals, I'm going to go to hell because I don't believe in Jesus. How the fuck does that make sense? How the fuck does that make sense? It doesn't. It just doesn't. Oh, Tangelo, how many times do I have to tell you sin is a made up concept? Get it out of your mind. Sin is a way to keep you tied to the church. Get it out of your mind. There's no such thing as sin. There's such a thing as right and wrong, yes. But we decide what's right and wrong. Because you know what? If we didn't decide what's right and wrong, why the fuck do our morals change with the times? 200 years ago, it was moral to keep slaves. Now it's not. Did God change his mind? Not that there is a God, but I mean, come on. Let's pretend for a minute. Did God change his mind that it is inexcusable to own humans as property? According to Christians, he cannot change his mind. So, yeah, no, you're not ever going to tell me that there's such a thing as sin. No, you are not going to tell me that. I reject that outright. Oh, Tangelo, we don't believe your fucking book. Why would we read this coming from a person who's reading the Bible on Saturday live stream? But why would we read your fucking book and take it seriously when we don't believe it? That makes no goddamn sense, Otangelo. Uh, all right. So anyway, yeah, I know, Lisa. I mean, seriously, God says all the gold and silver in the earth is mine. I forget where that is, but he says it a few times. So why does he need people to bring him silver and gold for his tabernacle? Doesn't make any sense, does it? Doesn't make any fucking sense. And Free Spirit, it's also horribly edited because you can see the fucking edits. I mean, what is up with there being two, count them, two creation stories? One in Genesis 1 and one in Genesis 2. Two creation stories. It doesn't take a genius to look at Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 and see that there are two fucking creation stories. Doesn't take a genius. Just takes somebody with eyes and an open mind. Yeah, Tarum, he does. But you know what? At least he's respectful about it. Anyway, so yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me that a murderer could go to heaven, whatever the fuck that means. Where is heaven anyway? Huh? Where is it? We've been, our probes have been across the solar system. We haven't found heaven yet. Where is it? You know, of course we can't look out into the galaxy. I take that back. We cannot scan the galaxy in minute detail like we can with the solar system. We can't do that. But we can look out over the galaxy. We have not found heaven yet. Where is it? Where is it? At any rate, I just want to, and I'll close with this. I just want to reiterate my support for Simone Biles. She's an awesome, awesome woman. And it takes a lot of courage to do what she did. A lot of courage to do what she did. And if you don't think that, go fuck yourself. Really, Tarum. Cool. Where is it? Which state? Which state is it in? That's cool. I'll have to look it up. That's awesome. Let me guess. It's in California. So anyway, but yeah. So that's all I've got for today. You know, Simone, I'm with you all the way, girl. You do what you got to do. You do you first. First and foremost, you do you. Okay? It doesn't matter what other people say. Doesn't matter. Let it roll off your back. Let it roll off your back, girl. You are the greatest gymnast of all time. And anybody who wants to um, argue that fact obviously doesn't know one damn thing about gymnastics. So anyway, um, just wanted to, come on, tell you about what the different afterlives are like in the different Christian faiths, which brings me to a question. If there is an afterlife, why are there so many different versions of the afterlife? And this is just in the Christian faith, okay? There's like reincarnation in the Hindu faith and the Buddhist faith. And I think Taoism also believes in reincarnation. Um, so, yeah. So, why is the Christian understanding of the afterlife right? Which, I mean, it can't be right because there are so many different understandings of the afterlife, even in Christianity. Whereas the Hindu understanding of the afterlife, which is reincarnation, is not. How can you even know that? You can't. It makes no goddamn fucking sense. And for you to sit there and say that you know what's going to happen after you die, well, that's just not correct. Somebody said something about near death experiences earlier. I have a video or two on near death experiences. Um, at any rate, um, first of all, nobody has ever died and come back to life. Nobody. Uh-uh. Nobody has ever died and come back to life. Nobody. Secondly, why are near death experiences so different? I mean, we can talk about cultural differences, but even within the American culture, we have different near death experiences. If near death experiences are truly near death experiences, they should all be the same, but they're not. There is no coming back from death. We know this. How do we know this? Because death is brain death. Means you have no fucking waves left in your brain. That's it. That is death. Now, you might, your heart might go out on a table in the operating room or, in an ambulance or in an ER or something, or in the hospital, even. Okay. And they can shock you back. All right. But that's the heart. The heart does not determine whether you're dead or alive. The brain does. No brain waves, you're dead. Period. Okie dokie. I am going to go. You guys have a nice, wonderful rest of your day. And if you're going to watch the Olympics, have fun. And, you know, toodaloo. Uh, do not forget to subscribe, like if you like, share this video if you think it needs sharing, and if you have a little extra money left over at the end of the month, consider throwing it some of my way by joining this channel. And I will see you guys later. Bye.